Everyone, welcome to RV Shop and Chef. We're coming to you today from our home-based kitchen. In a couple of weeks we have another adventure planned with Leapling. So before we get started on trips, I usually like to take a week or two and create some recipes that we can divide up and take on the road with us. This is going to be our new summer series, so we'll be cooking some light, healthy meals to take on the road. And I'm also going to be presenting some items that I found really useful, some tips and tricks for traveling and tools that I really like in the kitchen. One of them are these little bento boxes. So I get these from Amazon. They come about 30 to a box. So they're deep enough for a serving with lids. And I will just fill these up and put them in the freezer and they're set to go when we hit the road. Another thing I really like is I found this wonderful canister set. And it's a set of 3, but it seals tightly so that in humid conditions, if you've got salt or sugar, it's not going to clump up. It has a nice seal on it. And I love these canisters for everything from sugar, salt, oatmeal, coffee. They're just a wonderful, wonderful tool. And I love how they just latch on the side. So very handy. One of the things I'm going to be using today, which I love, is my lemon squeezer. It's actually a citrus squeezer, so you can use lemons or limes, and just by the press of the handle, it gives you fresh lemon juice. So one of the series that I'm going to be focusing on is lemons. One of the ingredients I love cooking with in the summer are fresh lemons. So the recipe today that I'm making is a grilled shrimp lemon spaghetti. So it's really easy, it's very healthy. Some of the things you can make ahead of time. So earlier today, I had about a pound of shrimp and I marinated the shrimp in some lime juice, Worcester sauce, and some garlic, and marinated that for about 2 hours, and then put them on skewers, and we actually put them on our Cuisinart grill that we actually bought for the coach. And you'll see a segment on that as well. It's one of our favorite things on the road that we have, that we store and use for cooking burgers and different recipes. But the shrimp was actually cooked on that earlier today, so it'll be ready for this evening. Also, I have this grater. We're going to be doing some grated lemon for a topping when the recipe is done. And so before we squeeze the lemon, I usually like to go ahead and grate, because you get most of the lemon rind that way. Once it's cut, it's a little bit harder to grate. So you always want to do your grating before you cut. So we're going to run this through the hand grater, and I would say for now, probably about 1 to 2 tablespoons is good. I love this little tool. It's a microplane. As you can see, it's actually grating the lemon really quickly. So very handy tool to have if you want to get fresh lemon zest or even lime zest. Okay, so we have about probably a tablespoon right now of lemon. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually whisk together a healthy, fresh summer sauce for our pasta. And in order to do that, we're going to need a measuring cup. And one of the items that I found that is really, really handy are these collapsible measuring cups. So they come in all sizes. There's a cup, we've got a half a cup, a third, and a quarter. So they pop out to be full size, and then they're collapsible, so they fit into drawers really conveniently. So the first thing we're going to need for this recipe is a half a cup of olive oil. I'm going to use my handy little measuring cup. So about a half a cup. It seems like a lot, but when you mix it with the pasta and the shrimp, it just makes it have that nice olive flavor. We're also going to get some fresh Parmesan, which I grated earlier today. With this one, this is about, I say for the whole recipe, about a cup of Parmesan would be good. But for your sauce, go ahead and just sprinkle some fresh Parmesan into the olive oil. You can never overdo your cheese, so as much as you like. This is where we're going to take our fresh lemon. And we're going to use my handy little tool, my citrus squeezer. So you'll want the juice of one large lemon to go in this recipe. Just give it a tight squeeze. Fresh lemon juice. Love it. So if you have small ones, maybe use 2 or 3. Absolutely luscious. Now you see why I love this tool. I actually have one in my home kitchen and one on the RV. So if you get a chance to purchase one of these, I actually got it sur la table. So you might want to look into getting one of those. They're really handy. They keep the seeds from getting into your recipe too, so that helps. So earlier today, I also minced about 3 cloves of garlic. Depending on how, I love garlic and it's so good for you, so I usually overdo it, but depending on how much you want to add to your recipe, it's really up to you. But I'm going to actually use all of my garlic. Okay, so we have those ingredients. It's very simple. It's just amazing how it all comes together. We're going to put in a little bit of salt. I would say this is probably maybe a 1/4 teaspoon salt. We watch our salt intake just because a lot of salt's not healthy for you, but you want a little bit for flavor. And then we've got some fresh cracked pepper. Okay, so now that all that's together, we're going to grab our whisk all the ingredients together. So once that's done, I have some angel hair pasta cooking on the stove. So you'll want to make sure that's done before you put everything together. It's been cooking for a little while. I actually have it on steam right now, so I'm going to take the pasta. I love these gloves also, by the way. These are one of my best tools in the kitchen. You can pick up hot pots, things out of the oven. It's fabulous. Okay. So this is angel hair pasta. You can use regular spaghetti. If you're using angel hair, you'll want to cook it for about 5 to 8 minutes. Spaghetti a little bit longer. And at this point, we're going to toss the spaghetti around just a little bit. We want to get the sauce all through it. So we're going to take the sauce that we whisked together, just put it over the spaghetti. Yum. Wish this was smell-vision. It smells so good. Maybe one day. Okay, so we're going to kind of just distribute the sauce all through the pasta. You can tell it's kind of seeping down to the bottom. Very, very simple recipe, but so full of goodness. Once that's done, we're going to take our skewered shrimp that we made. Just spread that around on the top. It's actually beautiful too. It's such a pretty presentation. And the beauty of this dish is that it freezes really well. So if you're taking it on the road, you have a wonderful gourmet meal ready to go that's in the freezer. Now, it tends to dry out a little bit occasionally. So I always save about a cup of the water that I boiled the pasta in. It gives a little bit of a starchy substance. So instead of just plain water, it's actually water from the pasta. You want to just pour a little bit of that around. Stir it all together. Oh, gorgeous. I see our cat Ella is smelling the shrimp. Ella, this isn't for you. And add your extra Parmesan on the top. Just spread it all over. Like I said, you can never have too much cheese, so no worries. And once you defrost this, if you've frozen some servings, you can actually put some more cheese on top of it after it defrosts. Now, I also love capers. It's kind of my little secret ingredient, so I love having capers in just about any kind of Italian dish that we make. Just gives it a little bit of a tang. Spread a little bit over the top. If you wanted to, could go ahead and just zest a little bit more, but you can see why we did it early. Once the lemon is squeezed, it's a little bit harder to get the zest, but depending how much you want, you could do it at the end too. Love this tool. Again, this is the microplane grater. And for our finishing touch, I have some fresh basil. If you're out and you're cooking and you really can't get the fresh basil, you can use dried, it's fine. But I think the more fresh ingredients you can add, the better the flavor. So as much as possible, I try to always use my fresh herbs. Take your basil and just spread it across the top. Now, this is where we're going to add the lemon zest that we grated earlier. So just sprinkle the lemon zest across the top. If you like lemons, you're gonna absolutely love this dish because it's a burst in your mouth every time you take a bite. But depending how much you want, you could do it at the end too. Love this tool. Again, this is the microplane grater. And for our finishing touch, I have some fresh basil. If you're out and you're cooking and you really can't get the fresh basil, you can use dried, it's fine. But I think the more fresh ingredients you can add, the better the flavor. So as much as possible, I try to always use my fresh herbs. Spread it across the top. Okay, so there you have it, the grilled shrimp lemon spaghetti. So all fresh ingredients. You've got angel hair pasta, capers, grilled shrimp, Parmesan, lemon, and garlic all tossed together. A little more cracked pepper. It's a very, very simple summer dish and just so refreshing. And there you have it. Until next time, cheers!